big up, and welcome to Liberal 12 Man Shows, the viral match reaction for the Merseyside Derby. And we are live and direct after finally shaking the losing bug, and now have a win, a W, 3 points behind our name, and we are pushing forward towards that trophy that is the Premier League. We are joined with Lee. I saw Lee in the chat. That kind of threw you off a second. We're joined by Lee. We're joined by Brian. We're joined by JK as well. And we're joined by Big Up Luke, Big Up Lee, Big Up Kevin. Geez, man. I guess we'll let Lee speak first, since he was the lone participant that got the score correct. He predicted a 1-0 win. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, it played out like I imagined it to be, like a tight game. There wasn't a lot of clear-cut chances in it, and Jota manoeuvred himself well to get in on goal. To finish it anyway, he was put in on goal. But Maury's crying about the offside amused me. He got a bit ratty on the interviewer, when they immediately mentioned the Tarkowski challenge, and he said, "Don't put that with the offside. It's a totally different thing." But anyway, it's just tears for a minute. It is a big thing losing a derby, so I suppose I've just got to look at it that way. I appreciate his despair.
Yeah. A bit of a bit of despair, to say the least.
He did put up a good show, though. He said we put up a good show in the first one, and he did. We didn't play well that day. Tonight they put up a good show again, but it wasn't enough for them. Just very enough for them. Hopefully that'll bounce us on now for the next 3 games. The confidence from this. Hopefully if it goes to plan.
Yep, it's a little bit of Simon and Garfunkel for you. The sounds of silence there for Everton. Hello, darkness, my old friend, is what is happening with a little bit of the L that is associated with the rightfully put L that is should be put on the Everton's win and loss sheet. And we'll hear from, next up is JK. JK, what were your thoughts as well on that, on the game? And we didn't get the 3-1, I think you said. 2-0. We didn't get the 2-0. But we did get a 3-3. We did get a 1-0. We did get a clean sheet.
But there's one guy. If I wish one guy got a goal today, it was Jota. And I said if Lee predicted it, he wasn't going to score. So I said to him, he's going to score. And he got the goal, bro, and I'm happy. One guy who needed it.
I had predicted Jota to score in each of the last 3 games, and he hadn't. So I thought I'll refrain from doing that this time around. And thankfully it worked. Not that I planned it that way, it just fell that way. Fate fell that way. But that Beto one was a heart in the mouth moment when he hit the post after he eluded Van Dijk. That was horrible. But we got through it anyway. Got the clean sheet, got the 1-0. That'll do. That gives us 3 points. And getting a derby win should give them a lift. Should give all the players a lift. Got the derby win now. Get on to Fulham. We can show our game a bit better there. You know what I mean?
Right. Good shout by Luke, by the way. I agree completely. Diogo got the goal, and it wasn't a well-deserved goal, by the way. Yet I wouldn't have given him man of the match, personally. I thought Lucho played his butt off today. He was making a real big difference in the game, whether it was tracking back, whether it was trying to take on the one-on-ones that he had. Had a couple good crosses involved in the game too. I thought that he played well, so I agree with you. I agree with Luke on that one. And even Jones could get a shout for playing very well today. I thought made an incredible last ditch effort save to getting his leg out there to kind of like take away that through ball that they were trying to get in there. But
yeah, for me, bro, I think it was a classic Jota goal. It was good. It weren't like a tap in or a deflection or whatever. It was a proper goal. You know what I mean? And the way they interacted with each other, that's how you beat a low block team with skill like that. You know,
it's important that we don't get a man sent off.
You know what I mean? But I reckon that the reason we also won the game today, I'm going to talk over Lee now. Is the reason is because Robertson.
Rob was a good game too. Yeah.
For me, that was the best game Robertson all season. He looked like the old school Robertson. He looked like the old school. He was, for me, the best game he's had all season. Wow, wicked. And him and Curtis, for me, they got struck in, bro. And Diaz, Callister, it was a bit more tough to even Gravenberch. I reckon he played well, like compared to what he has been. So I think the players were more up for it today. Second half, first half, it was just like whatever, you know. I think they gave Beto a bit too much respect. But second half, we got our job done. And I think maybe we should have scored a few more goals, but I think mentally the players were up for it.
Yeah.
The whole game at Anfield, like despite only having 10 men, if that game would have went on 5 minutes longer, we probably would have won that. We just ran out of time on that day, even with 10 men against 11, because we were battering them at the end and creating chances. You could feel the goal was coming, but we just ran out of time. The clock ran out. But we can definitely get a win at Fulham. Like I'll say that. Don't want to predict scores, but we can get a win there. Definitely.
Yeah. Big up Dara, big up Kev, Luke, Pops, Michael, Kevin, Red for Life in the house. Big up to everyone joining us. I can't I'll tell you what was very noticeable was the sheer fact that it's at least something I said while we were watching the game. And it is that I thought that a good bit of our game or our presence on the pitch today was directed to the left side for one of the first times, actually. Like, it's not an everyday occurrence. Normally we tend to be right side dominant when it comes to like going through Trent Alexander, or maybe even especially going through the diagonals, or going through just getting it to Mo Salah and having him work his magic. But today, that's the reason why. Today was the reason why I just thought that it was the emphasis was getting the ball to Lucho, utilizing Robbo on the left side, as JK just spoke on, and I thought that it made somewhat of a difference in the approach, because you didn't really. There was very few things that Curtis Jones really had to take on initially in this game, since we had the majority of the possession. But there was very few things they would have to even take on. Go ahead, Lee, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, just about it being the most likely point of where we were going to score from today was coming from the left-hand side, wasn't it? Like, pretty much throughout the game. There wasn't a lot of play for Mo, was there, today? And Curtis over there. Now, Curtis did a good job at right back, I thought. I did want Quansah to come out at the end for the extra inches, for like free kicks coming into the box, but it turns out we didn't need it. And Curtis did make a good clearance late on, didn't he? Like, but he just hooked it away. But 1-0's good enough for the points, innit? And just happy that the better one was the heart in the mouth moment, like when he.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Brian, how are you feeling after this big victory? Actually, let's keep it real. It is a big victory. It's obviously a Derby victory. It's also a opportunity for us to get back on the winning ways. What were your thoughts on the game? the initial viral thoughts.
No quality. That move from Diaz and Jota stood out like a sore thumb in terms of how you can look when you have some quick play and interplay and you break down a team. It's like the fact that we did that once in a game. They were very good at being stubborn, and yeah, it's difficult to play around low block. As a strong team like that, closing up all the spaces. But the lack of quality, the lack of passing, the lack of creativity, real hard game to win. Yeah, you look great win. But even in terms of there was, I'm sure we'll get onto it, there was things in it, but it wasn't even a good battle. It wasn't even like a great kind of Merseyside derby in terms of a narrow win kind of thing. I was
Mhm.
just Diaz, yeah, did have a good game. I think 6 chances created. I think I saw that, and the next best was one or something. So yeah, like you're saying, everything was going down his side. But the fact that that one move put together, lovely little shimmy from John, nice little flick, lovely little shimmy, just a piece of quality on the ball. We did it once all night. I was really unimpressed
Mhm.
by
Mhm.
how he played in that sense. Like it was a great victory in all the other sense, but the actual just the amount of ball we had, and just real. I thought we were just so poor across,
Mhm.
the front lines, and especially with Dom in behind creating nothing. It was really, yeah,
Mhm.
just really hard to watch at times. Just a slugfest, and it looked like two mid-table teams going at it for a long time, really. So
Mhm.
the Diaz and Jota moment just stood out like a sore thumb, as I said, as a rare moment of quality in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was a great win and all that. But I left, yeah, 12 points. You see the table afterwards and all that. It all looks good, but yeah, I was hugely unimpressed with our
It was an uncomfortable
creativity.
watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, at times, yeah.
It's a forgettable game, but like a necessary milestone on the way to the title. We'll have to see it as, but it's a forgettable game very easily, wasn't it? Like, wasn't a great watch tonight's game.
Mhm.
Well, the important part is the victory, and
Well, Nolante, big up KJ, by the way. What were your thoughts on the game today? Do you share the sentiment of what Brian just said? Oh, maybe still thinking about it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Well, he'll get his thoughts in a second, I'm sure. Um, let me get some of the chat's suggestions as to what the game looked like to them. Let's see. On Sky Sports, Mike Dean said Tarkovsky should have been sent off for that tackle on Maka. Okay, I agree. Jimmy says he thinks there was 2 red card calls in that game. I thought there was, to be honest with you. There was to Jimmy's point, I thought that the red card should have been shown for the challenge on Maka. And what's a shame about Maka is this guy gets beat up so much.
He's a magnet.
Absolutely is
that
He's
had
a
gets
the
magnet, dude.
potential to be really nasty, didn't it? That like he was lucky to get away with, just to be able to carry on after that one. It was a nasty tackle. It was high, where it ended up on him. And he
yeah.
did that on purpose.
He did it on
Tarkovsky.
purpose. He was doing
No,
it.
He
Yeah.
even
did it on purpose.
Kevin. Sorry, sorry. Sorry, I was just Kevin has said, but like I think who was it? Did Bonkers say Mike Dean said it was a red?
Mm-hmm.
Forget Mike Dean, dude. Kevin has put it in there. Even Duncan bloody Ferguson, the man who went to prison for something he did someone on a football pitch, was like, that's a straight red. Like if
Mm-hmm.
Duncan Ferguson, an Everton player, who's one of the hardest players of all time, is coming out and saying that's a straight red. I mean, you don't need Mike Dean to tell you.
And
This is
that's the first thing we said. When it 12 we watched it together, like the first thing we said when we seen it is that is a red. How can this not be a red?
he left a bit on
He got the yellow out, and I thought, oh yeah, you know.
I'll tell you what's even more scandalous, is who was on VAR?
Tierney made the ultimate decision. Paul Tierney, our long lost friend.
Yeah.
Was here for us again, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
And-
honestly, one of the
Yeah.
dirtiest, well, I won't say dirtiest, but one of the hardest, like Mr. Everton, Duncan Ferguson is out there saying that's a straight red, then VAR is going to be. Yeah, I know, it was Tierney and all that, but the idea that he doesn't even say. Yeah, the idea that he doesn't, because you can.
Day or night, that was a red all day, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you can see just at the little bit at the end. I know it's in slow-mo makes it, but you can see he leaves it in there.
Oh yeah,
bit.
Yeah. That's
and that's
it. Was he got to the ball first? You're right, but I mean,
yeah.
It's to follow through, and the fact that he knew he was going to try to take a piece of Maka out, and you could see Maka's leg slightly buckle a little bit, and I'm like, that could be a leg breaking tackle, man. Like,
if his leg is planted, it's only because his leg is in midair. If his leg was planted, he probably wouldn't have done it. But like that's what Duncan Ferguson saying. Look, he knew what he was doing there. Because when he extends into it, he pushes into his leg as well.
Yeah.
Because the first part of it's kind of accidental, or it's part of, but he then continues to push his leg in.
Yeah, he fully intended
with the
to
momentum.
Him there as hard as he does.
No, he's saying like you got Duncan Ferguson is like no, he knows what he's doing. And he meant to do it.
Too.
That's right.
It's studs first, and his both feet are off the ground too.
Only his hand. His hand is on the ground
like that. No matter you do make, even if you do make contact with the ball, you can't follow through like trying to be sure to take him out. And Lee Dixon is stuck in the 90s. Pops, you're right about that. And I'll tell you what, we watched Robbie Mustow said at the end of the game, he was going back and forth with Tim Howard. Tim, you let me down, by the way, my U.S. men's national team brethren here. But Tim Howard was also somewhat, I think, showing his Everton / maybe even Red Devil colors by trying to say that, he doesn't think that it was a red card in any way. Yeah, he is a blue. And it was just simply a case where, I thought that it was a poor decision. The fact that they don't go to VAR, or they don't even go take another look at it through VAR, maybe you didn't get a proper assessment of it. That should have been done. It wasn't. The second red card, though. This
is meant to be what they're supposed to be cutting out the game, and it dangerous tackles, and that was a very dangerous tackle on McAllister. But the ref just let it slide, didn't he? For the sake of the game, supposedly, or whatever. But I mean, it was just bollocks. One of it was a red all day.
Well, that's the whole thing about it. Is it's interesting how it was interesting. Tim Howard, that people are talking about Tim Howard now. Tim Howard was trying to defend basically the tackle and saying that it's a proper 50-50 and the likes and yada yada. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's really, really pushing it. But the second red that I wanted to speak on, and what I think Jimmy might be speaking on too. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe the second red wasn't the one that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of, and this is a good part too. I'm gonna make sure I star Jimmy's comment there. The second red should have been for Beto's tackle. Now you might not have seen it because it happens in the back. It happens towards the back of the attention of play. It's not the center of play. But Virgil was asking why the call was not made. And it's because he gets fouled, then the ball continues forward. There's another foul, and the referee stops it because of the second foul. But he doesn't call the first foul on Beto, who took out Virgil van Dijk legs. He swiped at the ball, missed it completely, took Virgil out enough that Virgil fell over. And let's not get it twisted. Virgil's not some like flopper, okay? And Virgil was antsy about it. He was asking, when are you going to go back and address that? And the referee had no time for it. I also think that what is laughable at best, by the way, and I know this shouldn't be referee watch, but let's say laughable at best had to be the fact that the referee gave Darwin Núñez a yellow card.
Yeah, that was hilarious, that wasn't it? But
That was
like
laughable
Macca's fault,
at best.
I think that was Macca's fault.
That was Macca's fault.
I think, yeah.
Why?
If what the guys are saying, again, this is a do not shoot the messenger thing. They're saying he was yellow carded because, like, if you go down injured off the pitch, the game doesn't have to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were saying he was, the yellow card was for unsporting behavior by
I
coming
lost
back.
my head off when he did it, but I immediately got a good view.
Yeah, but I think it was
back on. Yeah.
Yeah, just like give me a sec. I think it was Mac that went over him and basically picked him up and rolled him back onto the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was the yellow was for the unsporting behavior. But so it was basically Mac got me yellow card by fucking rolling back onto the pitch. But whether
that's not the first time I've seen players do that though.
No, but I'm just
I'm not shooting the messenger. I'm just telling you it's not the first time I've seen a player get injured, be off the pitch, and roll back onto the pitch.
Yeah. You're supposed to get a yellow card.
You're right. If he's off the pitch, then they should continue to keep playing.
Yeah. So basically, that's all the yellow was for. But I'm just saying it wasn't even that typical Darwin. Like he didn't even do the thing. It was Mac that was like, get back on the pitch, dude. Like, if anything, if you're going to yellow card anybody, give Mac the yellow card. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, it was kind of just. But I could hear the fucking whistle. When Darwin was running, you could hear the whistle. And I was thinking, is that someone in the crowd because he's not stopping? Yeah, man, I'll do that, man. I was like, he's not stopping, so maybe it's a whistle. And sometimes there's a guy near the microphone with a whistle because you could hear like peep, 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 and Darwin was still going. So I thought it was still, I couldn't tell for a second there what was going on. But I just thought Mac kind of done him up like a kipper there a little bit, unfortunately.
Right.
But, yeah, look.
I don't think, and plus, though, the messed up thing about it too, though, is that I understand that there was a foul. There was a foul earlier in the play.
It was on Dominic Szoboszlai. He got fouled and
he got fouled.
For that one.
However, the play was an advantage in the sense of he did get fouled, but he should have played the advantage because we end up having a break on goal.
Yeah. Well,
and then if you do watch what happens, Pickford, and I don't call him Pickford, I call him by his real name, Pickford. Right? Literally swipes and fouls Darwin Núñez. There's no love with this team, man. There's absolutely no love.
They were lucky enough to waste time, weren't they, before we scored? So it was our turn to do it a little bit like with Darwin rolling back on the pitch, which was his little cameo. It might be his last appearance in the derby. It was funny. He gave a pump-up thing to the crowd after he'd done it, didn't he, as well? Come on. And
Núñez did? You mean Núñez after when he got
after he'd been booked and that, like.
Yeah. Oh, I know. He is definitely box office when it comes to getting people pumped up. But hey, but yeah, there that was definitely. Let me make sure I got the
given the end.
I also thought this though, but when I saw that too, the tackle that he did was almost a copy of the one he made. Almost was. Because he literally had no opportunity to get to the ball, wasn't going to really make contact, and it meant he didn't care, which he doesn't. If he's not making contact with the ball, he's going to make sure that he makes contact with the player at all costs. Does not matter if he injures him or not. That's why I was getting ticked off. I was like, I see Cody up there, like, Cody and Pigford laughing it up, and I'm like, yo, man, that guy just kicked your own player. Do not talk. Do not consort with the enemy. Do not. He is not your brethren, nor your friend, in one way or another. I do not want to see you talking to him, other than, well, I'm not going to say the words, so I'll choose not to say it. 4 away. Alexander is absolutely spot on. 4 away from lifting the trophy, maybe less, but certainly at least 4 or at most 4. Now, at least at most 4. We got a big game at the Cottage this weekend. But yeah, beyond that, I agree with what Brian had to say about this game. This game was a weird vibe on this game. Was despite the fact that we had the majority of possession, despite the fact that we had quite a bit of the actual number of shots were obviously in our favor. Let's not get it twisted. Everton had some opportunities. That was what was, to me, that's what was very, very troubling.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. That's exactly another one too. By the way, Luke, you're spot on. By the way, Luke's on fire tonight. I also thought that, what was another opportunity that the referee missed is that I get that there was a foul on Kelleher, I believe, was fouled in the box. However, when the ball got taken, when the ball got punched out and moved on, their goalkeeper is up trying to get involved in the corner. When the ball drops out, I think it's Nunez, and I might have been, I forget who his second player was, but might have been Diaz, but Nunez is there with the ball or around the ball and looking at an empty pitch in front of him. And then the referee once again blows the whistle to stop play. It wasn't like Everton had the ball. We had the ball. If we had lost possession of the ball, stop the play. But it wasn't a head-on-head collision or anything like that. It wasn't a head injury. It wasn't something along those lines. But that was pretty poor. That was pretty poor. And I get it, Dara. I know, I get it. So what else was it about this game that kind of picture interest or
just not like we won? It's an instantly forget. As a spectacle, it wasn't really much, was it? Like, it's instantly forgettable. But I hope we just use it as fuel now, and we can go on to further wins and have a little run till the end of the season. Be nice if we could win all our games. You know what I mean? It's possible.
Nice.
Not outrageous thought that we could go on, be Fulham, West Ham, Leicester, and then we go for we'll see anyway. But probably not with having Arsenal and Chelsea to play as well. We won't win all of them, but I'd like to win as many.
How about this? I'll ask this to the panel. You guys can go. I don't know if Nolante is with us or not just yet. He's still on mute, but we can go around the horn here. What were your thoughts on Jones at right back today? And tell me this in the chat, please, too. Hypothetically, I don't think we'll see Trent obviously this weekend. I don't think we'll see Trent this weekend. However, if Connor Bradley
I put the
isn't
bo-
fit to play this weekend, if obviously Trent isn't available this weekend either, do you start Cujo at right back again against Fulham, a team that will be a little bit going up against us differently than a Everton went up against us today? I'll ask that. Lee, you can go first, then go JK, then go, because I see Nolante still on mute. So, Jake, go you, JK, then Brian.
I thought he had a good game today, but we were the home side, going away from home, whether he'll want to start him at right back. But it was a little Buttons holiday for Curtis at right back. It's needs must, wasn't it? We had to do it, like, well, we didn't have to, but he thought that'd help us, like, in possession or whatever, didn't he? But I don't know if he'll feel that way going away from home to Fulham. He might want Jarell back in the team. But we'll see. But I thought he did okay on his little busman's holiday at right back anyway. Better than Nunes did for Man City when I've seen him playing right back.
Okay.
For me, bro, he got better the longer the game got on. He got better, and I reckon he played okay. Clean sheet, got stuck in. He was geeing up the other players. So for me, he sort of stepped up as well. He's another guy who stepped up today. I think we weren't great first half, but I think second half we just looked better. That's what I was saying about Gravenberch. In the way Gravenberch has been playing in the last few games, what he played, how he played today is an upstep from how he's been playing. So he looked better, if you understand what I mean. He wasn't great throughout the whole game, but he was better. You know, so but for me, Curtis at right back, why not?
That's that's the variable of saying that Bradley's not fit for this weekend, and obviously Trent looks even less fit than Bradley possibly would be. So that's saying Bradley and Trent not available for this weekend. Do you start Cujo again, or maybe do you start Kwanzaa? Maybe you start Endo, or do you keep Endo as Endo game, Endo time, Endo goals? How about that too?
I mean, we didn't play very well, like, but the game was it was an uncomfortable watch, as I said. But hopefully the Fulham game will be a bit different. As for Jones playing there again, I mean, there's the old adage: you don't change a winning team. Maybe you'll go with the same lineup. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all if we went with the same lineup for the Fulham game.
Okay, Brian.
No, I don't know. It was the guy said it. He's never played that position in the Premier League before, and he played there 2 years ago in a cup game. So if it was a new thing that they're looking at and he thinks it worked, fine. But if he was just doing it just because Bradley wasn't quite ready or Kwanzaa, I would still be bringing back in Connor Bradley. I don't think there's anything Jones really did tonight that Bradley isn't capable of. So
I'm not asking. I'm not trying to say that he should start over Bradley. Nor am I saying
no. I'm just thinking out loud to myself. Really,
yeah.
Just based my own thoughts on it. Really, it just I can see him. Yeah, I don't. Something like something. It's happened once. If it happens 3 times, okay, then maybe we can. Okay, maybe that's the thing we do. But right now, it was just a shout for it. It was a really interesting shout. Maybe trying to give himself a little bit different. Something everyone wouldn't have been expecting, but he did okay. But I would like to see, if Kwanzaa and Jones and Endo and Bradley are all ready to go. If Bradley isn't ready to go, it's Fulham, right? Fulham away. Maybe a more defensively minded Kwanzaa. But no, it worked. I was going to say it worked a treat, but it it wasn't a disaster and it worked okay. So sometimes you try something, you see, oh well, that worked. So now
Yeah,
I
he
know I
did
can
what he
try it
was
again.
asked. Did what he was asked, didn't he, Curtis? Like, that's best you can put it. Like, is that I wouldn't want to see him there too many times. Like, it's not natural for him to play fullback. And I think with it being an away game, the Fulham game, it might be Jarrell instead. Like, and I might feel more comfortable with that decision. But we'll wait and see if he changes the team. Don't think there'll be many changes though for Fulham.
He has played right back before though, Brian. But whoever said that stat,
No, that's what I'm saying. He hasn't. No, I'm saying he's never
in the
played
Premier
right
League,
back in the league first before, is what they're saying. He's played.
he
The
did.
last time he played right back for Liverpool was in the cup, in a cup. That's what I'm just saying. That's what the
Oh, I
context
know.
is.
I'm just telling you, he did. He played in the Brighton game away against Brighton, 2020, 2021. He played right back for us as well, and he played twice right back that year. He played in the cup game,
Oh,
and then he played in the
but
Brighton.
in 2021.
Yeah, 2020,
I think
2021. He's played right back for us 3 times with this. Or wait,
I
3
think
times.
what the guy was saying was since that game, he's never played in the.
Oh,
He's never
since
played.
that game.
But it's
Since
3 times in what 5 years. So
Oh yeah. I'm not saying he's
again,
played there a
it's
bunch. Yeah, not at all. Yeah, and
it's
I'm
3
not trying
times
to.
in
I'm
5
not trying to.
years.
Yeah,
So
I'm just saying
no,
whoever
but
said
anyway,
that statistic, got it wrong a little bit. But yeah, he played
no, it's
2020,
the
21
last. I think
twice,
what he was saying was the
and
last time he
then
did it was 2 years ago. Was what he
oh
said.
yes, that's okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, in the Caribou Cup, he
Um,
played in 2023. He played it in the right back. Yeah, against Leicester. But yeah.
Have we got an Atlante? Has an Atlante gone on the mood?
I think he's still on. He's
Atlante,
still on
are
mute.
you out
Yeah, he's
there?
still on mute.
Atlante? No,
Yeah.
No, I
he's
was
there.
You
saying,
gotta
I was,
respond. There you go.
No,
I
he's
was saying
there.
I was back. The private chat. Check the private chat. I was saying I
Oh,
was
okay.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, check the private chat. Yeah, that's
Okay.
why.
Oh, sorry, I'm on the YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, can you explain naturally? Or is that true?
Yeah.
Sorry, that wasn't the one I meant to
The
bring
night
up.
that he did it
Well,
against
Bernie's here
Leicester
anyway.
also
Yes.
was
Yeah.
a pretty big night for Curtis Jones because he also wore the captain's armband that night too. Just a little bit of in case that comes up as
Shows that Scott's got a lot of faith in him to pick him at right back in the derby. It shows he's got a lot of faith in him, like, and it paid off. We got a clean sheet. He did what was asked of him. Couldn't do no more. I don't think we'll see him there again too much, though. Like,
Yeah. I'm not trying to make a call for him to play
really,
right back,
really
going
valuable to
forward.
Scott, and he,
Yeah.
he's versatile, and he showed himself to be really valuable to Slot like over the season. Just need him to stay fit, Curtis. He's one of them who just needs to stay fit, like, and available, for this development to continue. But yeah, it was good to have a Scouser in the team as well, with Trent not being fit.
Maybe also he could have meant Brian too that maybe he hasn't started. He was a sub as a right back in those two of those games before too. He wasn't, or at least the one in the Premier League. He was a sub at right back. But I agree with Luke. I was actually hoping that we would see. I was hoping that maybe we'd seen something different from Slot. We were going to see. I know for those out there, maybe Pops and some others hold little earmuffs. We might have got absolutely an opportunity to see Chiesa in this one, but it doesn't matter. It's all good. We got the win. That's all that matters in the end. But there was another question I was going to ask you, other than the right back question. Let me see if I can find it. There was someone who brought it up in the chat. Let's see. Diego deserves credit. Let's see if I can find it. No, I just can't find it. It'll come back to me when it comes back to me. But hopefully, I thought Kelleher played well today too. By the way, it really is a credit to what Kelleher does for us in the sense of really playing well when we need him to play well. Albeit that he did have those two. One was an offside goal, and the other one was one that hit the post. But at least he made the angle difficult for Beto. That made him hit the post, because otherwise that's a goal, by the way. But I thought as a big up to Kelleher for his performance today. I thought it was a good performance. Was there something else in today's game that made that like virally? That's what I was going to impact. I was going to say, how about? I'd love to hear the chat's reaction to this one. How about Moises' comments after the game?
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself.
I don't know. Did you guys hear
his miserable record, doesn't it, in derbies? Because his record is pathetic in derbies, and it continues it. And he wasn't happy, was he, about the allegedly offside goal where Diaz didn't make any movement whatsoever at any time, and Tarkowski just lunged forward, didn't he? And then Lucho came active, and it was in the net, and it was hard for him to take, wasn't it? But I mean, how many times have you seen that? If a player's inactive, doesn't make a movement towards the ball, it's not
so let me set the scene for those in the chat and also some of those on the panel that didn't get to see or hear what he said. But he was, as Dustin said, hella salty, for sure. As he was being interviewed, and the first thing out of his mouth was that the goal was, he didn't say the goal, he said the offside goal should have never counted. He referred to it as an offside goal. And he then went on to say that, yes, maybe they were a little bit fortunate with the Tarkowski challenge in not getting a red card or having him sent off. But then he went right back to the well with the whole, that goal shouldn't have counted, and he was offsides. It was kind of sad to see, actually. I don't think it was an offside goal, by the way. I think that by no means does Lucho make any play for the ball. Obviously, Tarkowski makes a move, makes an actual effort in not allowing for the pass to go through. By doing so, it allows for Lucho to get onside and then make an actual play for the ball. So it was a good call, I think. Unless you guys think we were fortunate.
Yeah, Tim Howard agreed, and he's a staunch blue, isn't he?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, he did. He did. Even Tim Howard agreed on that one. How about that? That should show you something. But go ahead, Brian. What do you want to say?
No, I was going to say the two boys have been sitting there in the background, and I know they're only on mute because they're. So I was going to let the lads chime in there for a while.
Yeah, JK. I will definitely. Whenever you guys are off mute, that's when I would address or ask you a question. That way, I know that you're ready for it. I want to. So whenever if you come off of mute, I'll ask you the questions. But yeah, I think they're preoccupied.
Yeah, no, there you go.
Okay, yeah, what did you think about Moises' comments after the game? Because you got to hear them.
Bitter. Bit of stick of toffee, innit?
Yeah.
There's the pot calling the kettle black, innit? And as we watched in the background, what made me laugh was the interviewer saying, "Weren't you lucky to get away with that red card?" Called him out, which is funny. I'm always, oh, what are you talking about? That's got nothing to do with the game. It's an offside goal. Bitter, but you weren't complaining that the last minute goal from Tarkovsky, innit? I mean, even though I was against it, but I can see why people give it the foul Konate. You weren't complaining about that. Dismissed that, didn't you, David? Oh, great game, great Merseyside Derby. What a derby! But you didn't think about that, did you? And now you're clawing onto straws. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, you said, look, the rules of the game. The game is the game, innit?
Mhm.
Like I said, Diaz wasn't interfering. Tarkovsky used the excuse, oh, it's an offside goal. Oh, what did he do? He didn't even touch you. You went for the ball. You stood there. You know what I
Right.
mean? Came on
Right.
sides, flick, boom. So it's, he wanted the point and it didn't happen. So it's just sour grapes. And we'd love to see it. David Sour Moyes. Go hold that. Go back and do us a favor on Saturday. By the way, P.S. Go tell the Gory to put up his ears to the Liverpool fans. What was that? Silence.
Tarkovsky said in the interview, didn't he? If Diaz wasn't there, I wouldn't have went for the ball. But he was.
Which is like, again, he's using the excuse, Lee. I think it's just complete crap. Well, you see this still motion. Diaz, what was he doing? He just stood. He knew he was offside, so he didn't do anything. Tarkovsky just flopped. It's simple as, again. It's
absolute show on it, and then he instantly became active. Like it was brilliant. Show that great finish from Jota. Not against the points in it, but you could see how bitter Moyes was. Like you just mentioned then, when she said about the Tarkovsky tackle, he went, "Don't get that mixed up with the offside goal. The two totally separate things." Like, I reacted quite badly upon first hearing it, but then I chided myself for getting too angry about it when I should have been laughing from the get-go. But I was annoyed the way he pulled that one, in his interview, Moyes, about the offside goal. I didn't think he'd go on about it that much, but he did. That was the centerpiece of his whole thing. Anything that came afterwards wasn't as bad. There you go.
Let me show you the entire quote. This wasn't necessarily in the interview that we saw, but this was the quote. He is offsides. I have not sought an explanation, but I have said to them, meaning the officials, that I am disappointed. It was an easy one to give as well because all our players were holding the 18-yard line, and Diaz comes from behind and affects Tarky clearing it. I'm really surprised it wasn't given, or maybe I am not surprised. That's a little cheeky. But
someone needs to explain that rule to him, don't they? Clearly.
Yeah, it was like, just because you're offsides doesn't mean that you can never get onsides. Like, if you make a play for the ball, it's one thing, but he doesn't even make a motion towards making a play for the ball.
Yeah, remember the goal at West Ham? Remember the goal at West Ham when Mo would have been offside if he would have went for it, but he left it and then got in the middle and ended up scoring.
Yeah. At least apparently he didn't say this in the interview that we saw, but at least I don't remember him saying this. But at least he came to reasoning because this is what Evertonians should just recognize. I bring this up too. He went on to say, "We had a few chances, but we're not kidding ourselves. Liverpool were the better team, and there's no hiding that fact." What is Dustin saying? It's the rule. If Diaz doesn't move, it's not offsides. Moyes doesn't like the rule. Decision is correct though. Bernie saying from the Liverpool Echo. Break up, Bernie, by the way. Good to see you. Hope that you're feeling better and doing well. Premier League statement labels James Tarkowski's tackle reckless after Everton man avoids red card. Absolutely. Poor decision. It's one that, again, doesn't go in our favor, but it is. something we'll have to just move on from as the game is what it is. But it was funny that Moises. I thought Moises was a little better. Even Tarkowski got asked that question. I'm sure you guys remember what Tarkowski had to say about it when asked about he did say the same about the offsides. He said that because he knew that Diaz was there, it affected his clearance of the ball. What are you talking about? If the guy's offsides, then allow for him to. Then if he makes any play for the ball or if he plays the ball, it's offsides. It'll either be called on the pitch or hopefully it'll be then looked at by VAR and called properly called. But it's sad that he had to go that way. And then he also said that Tarkowski did acknowledge that his challenge was reckless. Mr. Howard, take note of that, because Tim Howard's defending Tarkowski was poor. It was scandalously poor. And the guys that were watching it with me could back me up on that. He was talking as if it was like 1983 or something. But again, it is what it is. Yeah. Bernie's saying we should ask that Paul Tierney makes no decisions on us either on the pitch or VAR. I agree with that completely. That was really poor that he didn't even tell him to go look at it again. Against guys the Red Devil, bloody Turkish delight. That's funny. There was one other quote I was going to bring in here, I think. Oh, no, I already put that in there. So, yeah, that was cheeky, though. But what Tarkowski said that he apologized. He recognized the fact that he thought that he was going to go into it 50-50 or something like that. And he recognized the fact that his challenge was reckless. What's kind of sad is that I don't know whether he made it. He must have made it after the game. He must have went up to him after the game because he said that Maka accepted his apology. But I noticed that I noticed, I didn't see him make any efforts to basically say any type of an apology on the pitch. I thought was kind of interesting. And yeah. Did you think we were fortunate that it was Beto up front for them and not someone else today? Beto isn't a bad player, by the way.
No, he proved himself a handful in both games. He was problematic for Virgil and Ibu in both games.
Mm-hmm.
Give a good account of himself, like for the bits and parts that he wasn't involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to go on from this game because it was a crummy game to watch, but we got the win and that. There's not a lot more to say about tonight's game, is there? Other than we got the win. I really go on about the great play because there wasn't much, as Brian said, and it did stand out like a sore thumb, that one moment of quality from Diaz and Jota. But hopefully that'll get better because it was a kickstart after the bloody international break. And we know from the last two that we played crap after we came back. So hopefully we'll be a bit better by Fulham.
Okay.
We'll need to be.
Yeah.
Quicker start. I think we wait too long to start the game. We invite teams to sort of get into the game. The one thing with Klopp was he started off fast, so the other team couldn't breathe. And he used to get the job done. And I think Slot sort of does it the opposite way around. He invites the other team for dinner. But he won't offer them dessert. But he's offering them dinner, you know what I mean? So for me, he needs to really go for it sometimes. That's what I'm waiting for. A game where he's just gone like 100 miles per hour from the start. Yeah. But other than that, bro, I said at the start of the season that I'm not really bothered about how we play as long as we get the results and the wins. And we seem to be doing that in the Premier League. So it is what it is. We didn't play great first half, but I think second half we just looked a bit tougher. You know what I mean? Going in challenges and stuff. Compared to them two games against Newcastle and PSG, this game was better than what I thought it would be like when I seen the starting lineup.
Moment of the match was Darwin rolling back onto the pitch. I burst out laughing when he done it. He cost me a yellow card, but it was funny. It was very funny, that. No doubt about it. He wanted to play a little role, didn't he? Coming, it might be his last derby for all we know. Good on him. Good on him.
He got the crowd. He got the crowd revved up. He definitely got the crowd revved up.
I wonder if we'll see the guy who did the challenge on McAllister, if he's going to do the same against Arsenal on Saturday.
Tarkowski.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll do that kind of challenge on Saka.
He's a Man United fan.
Other people will be saying, if others will be saying, "Oh no, that's just a regular challenge."
Yeah,
it is a pretty regular challenge for me.
Interviewed it wasn't the best tackle from me. Yeah, it bloody wasn't, mate. You're right. He should have been further.
No, he's a scouser.
Say again.
I'm pretty sure he's from Liverpool.
He scores Man United.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's from the area, not like a born and bred seagull.
Yeah, like northwest, somewhere in the northwest. Yeah, not far away.
You're saying Tarkowski's born in Liverpool?
I've never looked into it. I don't actually know.
No, I didn't say he's born in Liverpool. I said I think he's from the area. I think he's from
the area, the general Merseyside area, or the northwest, like Lancashire or something.
Okay.
I just remember hearing it. I don't know.
Yeah, he was born. He was born in Manchester, but
yeah, like Lee said, northwest area. He's from the area there somewhere.
I was just telling you, just saying.
Yeah.
When he said it wasn't the best tackle from me, I was hoping that
he grew up in.
Oh, yeah, it's typical Tarkowski.
Where's
it's a very Tarkowski tackle. I don't know anybody's surprised. Yeah, I don't know anybody's surprised that he said it wasn't the best. That's a very Tarkowski kind of. That's why he made his name. He played for Dyche under Bolton. He is that kind of player,
He's been a good signing for them, to be honest. Them and Brandway's had a decent partnership for Moyes to have. To come
I was asking, where's New Moston? Is that how you pronounce it? Moston?
Never heard of it. But he's had the two biggest moments in both games, probably. Okay. He scores the equalizer in the previous one. He's the big name in this one, so he's made himself a name on Merseyside now, no doubt. He's a
he'll go down in Everton lore for sure.
I've never liked him. Never. He's something about him, whether the face, the way, whatever it is. I never liked him.
He's a Lallana wannabe. Yeah. Definitely. But he can't measure up to Lallana.
Yeah, New Moston's part of East Manchester.
Oh, it's part of East Manchester. Okay. That's where he grew up, is New Moston. Excuse me.
He must have loved the Fergie days. He must have been sporting in them days. Yeah.
That's where he's from. Old Boston.
North Manchester. In North Manchester. Big up. Yeah. I'm sure he wasn't. He had no problems taking out a red. Or trying to take out a red. Shout out, I will admit though, I will give him some sort of credit. Ashley Young. Holy crap! That guy is going on 40. By the way, and I actually didn't think he was that old. I know that he's been around forever, but yeah, 40 years old, going on 40 years old, or is 40 or going on 40? I believe one of the two.
No, he's 40.
He is 40. Okay.
Yeah.
Going on 50.
Yeah, 40 going on 50. There you go.
Well, he
Oh,
looked
he's
like
going on
he.
25.
40 going on 50, but he looks
No.
like he's 30, though. I'll tell you that.
Fair play to him.
Right, Brian? What are you saying?
No, I just remember seeing his face. He looked like he was the one that had run 60 minutes when he was coming off. You know, he was
Yeah.
coming on. Oh, he looked like he just the face on him. He's like, Jesus, another Merseyside Derby. I don't know if I've got this in me, lads. Yeah, it's like you're bringing me into this. It's like, yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's just Ashley Young playing till he's 40. You couldn't write it. You couldn't make it up. But yeah, he just when I saw his face coming on, I was like, he's still there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, still
okay.
there. Still there.
Okay.
The last images of Ashley Young I remember was when he was getting definitely getting abused by Diaz in the one. I think it was home. I think it was at Anfield.
Last season?
Where he got the red card.
Last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah. That one was was not his finest hour. He looked all of going on 40 at that moment. But yeah. The shame that he didn't get an opportunity. He almost had the opportunity to make history too. Not in this game, but when he played his son or his son's team. And he was on the pitch too, or he didn't get subbed on at the pitch or something like that.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's the son or him. Yeah, they didn't, which would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been really nice. And the game wasn't like it was, down to the last minute or something like they couldn't have gone and actually done something like that. That would have been pretty cool for him. But
his name is Ashley Young, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell you what, he put one good ball in Ashley Young with his left foot. That one that Curtis had to hook away that nearly fell for Brandwaite. That was a good ball from Ashley Young.
Robertson did a beauty. Robertson did one cross today. Oh, what a cross.
Yeah. That was a
Jota
ball.
just missed it.
Yeah.
Someone taller would have headed that, bro. What a cross. That was Robertson at his best today.
Yeah, he's got a cross in both feet after Young. He always has had, like. Right over.
He played for Man United and Everton.
Well, we will have certainly a Fulham matchup, pre-match little thing. But I was going to say, are you feeling good, feeling better by the performance today in the sense of that you have a sense of reassurance that we are ready and rested for us to go into this weekend? And it is good that we do have quite a little bit of a ways of rest. When our game is on Saturday, right? Not Sunday. Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
It is Sunday. Okay, well that's even better then. Okay. So we'll have obviously quite a few days in between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah, about 5 days, 4 days of rest, but 5 days, I guess, or 5 days of rest, I guess you could say, if you can count this one. How are you feeling about that? Tell me in the chat too. Are you guys do you think we're back? Or is this just
Hope so. I'm a little bit nervous for coming fixtures, given our form before the international break. But hopefully, this is just a clean slate now, and the players just play from here on in. We've got one victory. Let's try and get another. type thing. But I'm a bit nervous. Like there's a little bit of trepidation with us having those two big losses before the international break. But hopefully that's just put out their minds now and they can concentrate on the Fulham game and then West Ham and Leicester. It's getting closer, isn't it? Like now, it's getting closer and closer. Something we've been waiting for, something that's been on the horizon for a long bloody time. That 20th title. We're going to finally get it. Which is great.
Okay.
2022 was horrible. That year was bloody horrible.
Yeah. Okay. JK?
I'm confident, like always. I just feel when you look at the stats of the game. Give me a moment.
Yeah, like about
So we had
75% possession around there,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. So that's
For
like
good bits of the game. That's
we
where it
control
was around.
majority of the game. 17 shots, 3 on target. Thing is, we had 11 corners, and again, nothing special.
Two of them won it.
We're talking about that in the pre-game, about the corner situation where we have too many corners and we don't do nothing with it. And today again, it didn't look like we were going to score from one.
How many corners did we have today?
11.
11 corners. That's about around our average, actually.
We do attack a lot, you know what I mean?
We do. We get a lot of corners in games. That's all I've been saying before when I was making the point when we were going back and forth of honesty. I'm saying that for a team that gets so many corners, I think we should definitely focus on capitalizing on more of them. That's why. But don't worry, I've got a little episode coming up about that, and I did my little research to back up what I had to say. How about for you?
Go ahead, JK. No, go ahead, JK. Yeah. Go ahead, JK.
No, I'm just saying that I think we've got to go into that Fulham game in this way we went into the second half of this game. So look at the second half where we controlled it all. Like first half, better was taking the rip out of Virgil and Kanai. He had them twisted. And I think second half, they didn't really do that. So for me, a second half display needs to be in the first half against Fulham for us to win that.
Okay. Brian?
No, Nolante is there. So Nolante, he hasn't been in a while. So he's off mute. So.
Okay. Go ahead, Nolante.
The win was important. The performance was a little betterish than PSG Newcastle, but it still wasn't great. I say it was an average performance. We done enough.
You say?
Yeah, pretty much. Just for the second half, but we didn't create. Those control, but not that clear cut chances to just kind of wrap up the game, really. Kind of thing, but it was more controlled. But we know 1-0 is a dangerous game, and shout out to man like Kells again, who is solid in sticks. Kells was getting criticism for Newcastle's first goal against Dan Burns' header, which I thought was a little bit unfair. It's just the way Kells sometimes dives at the ball that makes it look, but and he was in a lot of pitches solid. Ibu and VVD again. If Joey was fit and Kwanzaa was, the situation, then I think one of them would need to be dropped because Beto is a good striker, but you can't be rattled by him. You can't. I mean, we caught life but control. And listen, shout out to Curtis Jones, man. Look, he done what he had to do. He's not a right back. He done a decent job and. He made one crucial clearance. I think people must forget when it was the last 5 minutes, a free kick. And if he didn't make that clearance, Braithwaite could have scored. That was very, very crucial. So you got to big up Jones for that defensive awareness because he doesn't get there. we're having a different conversation right now.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
we're
His
having a
stuff,
whole
he
different.
had his leg, and it was a good clearance, to tell you the truth, too.
Yeah, that was a very, very good clearance. Apart from that, yeah, look, I still would make changes in Fulham. We're still not 100%, but again, Slot's not going to make the changes, is he? He's just not going to. I think changes still need to be needed to this team, but it is what it is, and we move. And Fulham, I just want to see the performance that we've done up till the last month or so. I just need to get back to the level of performance because we're still lacking a lot of things, you know. Obviously big up Jota, he got his goal. That was the Jota of old that we've seen since he's come in the club.
Finally, by the way.
That was Jota the Slotter. So Slot would feel vindicated of playing him, but he's been too long and he was lucky. But for me, my thing is this. I just don't want, and I know people will talk about this player, they got money in the bank. I just want to see Slot. I just need to Slot to stop doing favourites and just be a little bit ruthless. It's not a harm to put a Jot on the bench. It's not a harm to put a Mo. If they're not playing well, then for me, it's about who's on form. I don't care who the name is. Whether it's Joey Gomez, Mo Salah, I don't care. If there's another player down form, give the other players a chance, just a game to see if they can do it or not. I just want to see that. I just feel he's given too many players, a lot of too many lives, like a cat with 9 lives. But look, at the end of the day, look, the win was all important. We better, but not. We're in between. We're in between. There's still lots to go. We'll go to Fulham, and yeah. Let's try to get another win and make it closer. That's it. That's it, really.
We better than Beto. That's what you just said. He's better than Beto. Yeah. I will give you the sheer fact, though, that Mo Salah was subbed off in this game. I'll give him that. He got subbed off in the very, very end. End of time, or end of game, end of goals, however you like to put it. The gumshoe Gorgon, as Pops likes to call him, was called into service and held it down for adding to his record of being introduced into games, albeit it was only like 2 minutes left or whatever it was.
Yeah, shame he couldn't get a little bit longer, wasn't it? Shame he couldn't get a little bit longer. So it'll probably be his final.
We were calling for it. We were saying how we would have been good to possibly bring him in. And it was a very interesting substitution because by his substitution for Salah, it was going to I'd have to watch it back again because I didn't really get a good chance to see who was playing on the right side in that role or how they were actually positioned. So I will watch it on the watch back. Replay,
but talking about a couple of passes, just the ultimate. 2 minutes. You're not going to rate him on anything there. I just want to say that, like, if even just for at 12 points up now, was it 8 games, 9 games,
8 games.
So I'm not expecting us to take the handbrake off. I do expect to say with 2 more wins under our belt, because we don't have anything else to play for. So, he's going to do what he needs to do in the league until he knows it's mathematical. Then you might see some other players, but I wouldn't mind seeing just a little bit more attacking freedom. I don't know, a little bit better play. Tonight was a strong game. I'm not going to judge it on tonight, but it's been a thing for a while. I don't want to call it mechanical. I don't know, but I'd like to see some of our players express themselves a little bit more.
Agreed.
What they did tonight. Entertain the fans a little bit more. Like we need not forget that football is entertainment at the end of the day. It's what people used to go and watch on their day off after a long day at work or a long week at work. It's now the big global multi-billion-dollar behemoth that it is, but at the end of the day, we still watch it because we love watching brilliant players score great goals.
Mhm.
You know, that's what at the heart of it. So a little bit more freedom in our play, maybe a little bit more confidence. Some of these players express themselves a little bit more when we go home, take the road home. You know, this kind of let's turn on the tricks and the flicks, as they say. You know, sometimes
Mhm.
let's show people that we're not just a machine. We've also got good players that can play good football, and
Mhm.
hopefully that kind of when the pressure is off, we might see some more of that. And
Mhm.
you know, games like tonight are great, but it wasn't the best watch in the world. And we've had a lot of those games this year where great result, but you're not buying the DD at that one. You
Yeah,
know,
Mhm.
right.
I know what
Highlights
process
brief.
you see clear, but you know, it's just like we can win. Like I know Kevin is saying he'll take the bread and butter. You keep your WWE. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not talking Harlem Globetrotters. I'm not talking for the sake of it. I'm just playing with a bit of freedom, and let's show how good we are, and also win
Mm,
games. Got talented
agreed.
players. You know, we've got real talented players, so we can do both, Kev. We can do both. You can
Yeah.
have your bread
Everton
and butter,
stuck
but
to
you can
their
have some
task
smoked
well,
salmon on the
didn't
side
they?
as well. You know.
Everton stuck to their task well of denying us time on the ball and that and getting anything. I mean, it was hard to create anything, and like you said, Brian, earlier, it did stand out that one moment's quality.
Yeah.
The rest was ugly, but you often get like ugly derbies, like as spectacles. They're not much like as a game, but that's just derby football. Sometimes it's always like full on physically and that like.
I wouldn't have said that they were tough on. They allowed for us to have the ball, and I just think that they had a lot. They just parked the bus when it came to that back line. I mean, there was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
5, 6 players on that back line almost every time you looked up, and it's
Oh, at
difficult to
least.
find. It's difficult to find. And there was a couple of times. Look, this is something. Again, I would like to see us do it more often. I don't really remember too often that we even tried to attempt it again today, but it was something that me and Alante were speaking on. And that is, it'd be nice to see us try to do. There's runs that are being made by some of these forwards. It's just a matter of getting them the ball, not always turning automatically, like as there's a switch to like turn and play the ball backwards or sideways. Like push. I know that if you do play the ball forward and you do chance it getting you losing possession, and I know that this is a possession-based team, control-based team, and the likes, but you do have to take your opportunities. And sometimes, because of the occurrences that we see, sometimes there's those opportunities that are there, and it seems like at times, like whether it's Grab or whether it's like Dominic or some of our midfield, but you'll see the runs being made, and yet we just don't want to do those through balls to go and try to push that back line, even though there isn't that much room that to operate behind. But it's almost like they weren't even really giving that much of a look sometimes. And I'd like to see I'd like to see that occur a little bit more, and that would possibly bring out some more of what you're saying, which is that entertainment factor of making runs rather than being too conservative. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, if we get back to the form again till up till March, because before then we were playing again controlled football, but again with attacking the 10. So like what Brian was saying was spot on, and I don't think that's something like we it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's something that's unachievable for us to do. You know, yeah, of course, if we get 1-0 wins and yeah, stinky wins, then yeah, but we're here. We just we can if we can get back to that would be good. That really would be good. So. And I think that's all we say. And I like that. I know what Brian said. Attacking freedom, we had that before, and we can do it again. There's great being controlled, but you don't be controlled without any intent. Because there's times, me and 12, we're watching in the background, especially Gravy, even Jones at times that Mac, you have the ball, the switch is there, the open space is there. It's not like this blocked off, but then it's either passing back or the ball is too slow, you know? So, and that's what we're saying. There's a time and place for everything. When we early in the season, when we were mixing it up, there was controlled, but then when we tacked with a 10. But then the passes were the flowing, but and when you're not gonna have a perfect game, I get that, but we just kind of, for the last month, but let's see, probably maybe, hopefully this win is, a little bit, not a little bit of confidence boost to these guys and just know that let's get back to what we can do. We are number one. We are the best team in the league. And let people like Tarkowski and Moyes cry in the bed tonight, thinking about so-called offsides, having Lucio Diaz in their dreams. And by the way, Tarkowski, that was absolutely disgraceful, honestly. Yeah, this is not 1985. This is not 1995. This is 2025. Yeah, go for the ball if you want it. If your foot was on the floor, then fine. But listen, the way McAllister's leg went, honestly, his leg could have been. Oh, that could have been this. I don't
That
think
could have
any of
been
us should be watching that.
That could
Yeah,
have ended his
that
career.
was
That could have ended his career.
exactly that. When I saw Mac's leg, just my heart, I felt the worst. But thank God, that's only God Almighty that he came out unscathed.
Remember, there was a
You know what I
horrible
mean?
one on the way to Sheffield United when Sheffield
Yeah.
United were in the Premier League. There was a really
Yeah.
bad. I can't remember which
Yeah.
Sheffield
Yeah.
United player would be really.
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. I mean, the referee. To be honestly, like the referee was awful tonight. I mean, he weren't great. And
Yeah,
can
it was a
someone
bit
tell me what was the
at
new?
times.
What?
I've never seen him before. Don't know that referee. Looked a
Yeah.
bit
Yeah, first
overawed
time at
at times,
Anfield.
like in that.
Yeah. But can someone tell me what was the Nunes thing? I don't understand that because what was blown? Because Nunes was through, and all of us can see Pickford clearly hacked him down. So what was he? So what was the ref calling back for? Can someone tell me that? I didn't understand that.
Going back on the pitch after he'd been off, rolling back onto the pitch to stop the game,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
But it was Macca's fault because Macca picked him up and threw him back on the pitch. So blame Macca.
Yeah.
Okay, but was there any reason before then? Because he was taking before he rolled back on the pitch. Was he gonna? Were they going to do VAR? Was he looking at the incident? Because I was just a bit like it was just so blatant.
No,
I was
because
just a
they'd
bit
already blown up. He'd already blown up from Starlight Sabo, and Darwin was running in. And like I was saying, I was watching. I assumed someone in the crowd had a whistle because you could hear a whistle going, but people were still running. But he'd called it back for it was a whole shit show of various different things. So yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough, right? Yeah, that was.
The Tarkowski tackle is he was right there, the referee. He had a perfect view of it, mate, and seeing how bad it was. And
You could still,
he gave
even
him
if it
yellow.
is offsides or if it's a foul or if the play's dead, you could still get a card for a reckless
Oh,
play.
Pickford could still have been carded. Yeah, that's what the
Yeah.
commentators were saying. They were like, one commentator was
still
saying,
a
this is a
card.
card for Pickford, right? And he was like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you think so, but he's waiting for Darwin to get up, so it looks like it might be for Darwin.
Yeah.
Because one guy was like, yeah, Pickford got a yellow for that, even though it's like play wasn't officially on, as it were.
Right.
You
Right.
can
You
still
can
get a
still
yellow
get a card for
kicking
reckless
someone,
reckless
basically.
play, despite it being like the play is
Yeah.
over or whatever, or it was whistled dead or something. You can't. That doesn't mean it's because it's whistled dead. You get a
You can't punch someone and get away with it just because, we blew the
swipe it.
whistle.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. And that's what he kind of did by taking. That was a reckless challenge by Pickford. So, but
Reckless is his middle name, isn't it? As Virgil found out a few years ago.
Yeah, very much
that
so.
That was just terrible. That one. The scenarios I've thought of in my mind about Jordan Pickford and revenge.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I'm not happy about Cody talking, like laughing it up with them at the end. That's not as if your guy's on the ground in pain, the last thing you want to do is be, consorting with the enemy in essence.
Yeah.
At this moment, Cody better worry about his place because it looks like Lucho's gone ahead of him.
Well,
I think,
Diaz today, bro.
yeah.
Top class. Top
I think
class.
out of all the players, I think that this coach, which is kind of surprising considering that we all heard the talks about how the deal might be on for Barca. Now it's off, then it's on, then it's off. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I heard a crazy rumor today that Barca doesn't want to spend the money, or they know it's going to be a high price tag to get him. But apparently Flick does really, really rate Lucho, and that he'd be willing to move Ferran Torres, and possibly a second player to make the deal happen. That was an article I read, and that is what it is.
Well, he does that. I think that'd be just silly, if I'm honest, but that's up to him anyway.
Ferran Torres is on again, off again. Good. Like
Yeah.
he's like I don't know how well he would fit for the system that we're trying to put together in our case as well. The players that come back have to work for us too. It's not just all about one-way operations when it comes to transfers. When you're doing a swap deal, especially, and swap deals are very difficult to do. Very difficult.
I don't think we want him. Yeah, I don't think we want him. Yeah, he'd be nah.
Yeah, they've been killed as well, though. They were always incredibly difficult to do, but now with because of the amount of moving parts, basically, you want to give them a player, they want to give you a player. Both players want to have to go. Both players, there's just like your multiple moving parts. But now the idea of doing a swap deal with PSR clubs don't like a club would much rather basically say an old-fashioned swap, but we agree to sell each other both players because that's money on the books. If you swap two players, there's no money on the books.
Right.
So you'd much rather basically sell them Diaz for 30 million, say, and agree to sign Torres for 30 million rather than just swap them. Because you put that money, that's 30 million coming into you, amortization, blah, blah, blah. If you just straight swap the two players, you've got no money.
Yeah.
So for clubs, they'd rather just make an agreement, right? We'll sell him to you for 30, and then you'll sell us to him for 30, right? Back in the old days, well, why not swap players? No. We need income on the books. You need money on the books. So they'll just, like, even with the Gordon and the Gomez thing, that was never going to be a swap. That would have been, we'll agree to sell him to you, and we'll buy him. It would never have been, say, Gomez included in the deal because you need money coming in. And that's what it's looking at on your books is even if it's 10 million coming. So yeah, I think swap deals now at the highest level, you're never going to see him again. No chance. That's just even some young kid will agree to make the deal, but we'll give you 5 million for him. So it's on your books rather than swap. Yeah. So Diaz to Barcelona. I don't know. Yeah, would you like to be waiting on them to pull the trigger on your transfer and pinning all your hopes on Barcelona? Them knowing they have to juggle like 17,000 financial balls just to get you in the door.
Yeah, I would say look at Danny Olmo, right?
Yeah, exactly. Look, Arda Turan, even going back to Arda Turan. They bought Arda Turan off Atletico and they couldn't play him for 6 months.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, I do.
Never
remember
recovered.
That.
His career never recovered.
About a player that is not exactly happy, is I guess could be the words for it, about his current pay level. I'm certain that despite the fact that he would be getting his a very I guess you could say dream move to Barcelona. I mean, Liverpool's a dream move for him as well, but I mean a dream move for his boyhood dream move to Barcelona. It still wouldn't make you say, okay, I'm gonna just take a low ball offer when it comes to salaries. I'm sure he's gonna be wanting to be paid accordingly. So Should be interesting. Should be
Yeah.
interesting. But I just brought that up because I think that out of all the players on our front line, maybe even minus obviously Mohamed Salah, I think that Slot believes that he is certainly one of the most essential players in our front line, being Lucho. I think that continues. I think that was for Klopp. I mean, people said what they want to say about Jurgen. I mean, about Diaz. And I've gone back and forth with about this part and point up with the guys from Coppish, whether it's Matt or even Cal. But I just think that Diaz shows his worth when you recognize that the work rate, the amount of attention that he draws, the ability to allow for our team to, as JK always puts, I make sure to note that Diaz allows for our team to be able to get our shape back once he has the ball at his feet, because he's very difficult to dispossess from the ball. I will admit today he did hold on to the ball maybe once or twice, a little bit too much, but that's okay. That's all right. We got the win all the same. And there's parts and points about Diaz's game that are very, very important, and certainly I think not a certain commodity for this team, in that it's not many players can do what he does with the ball and have that much confidence to do what he does with the ball at his feet. Very South American-esque, like flair with his takes and the likes.
No, agreed. I think apart from he's the only real dribbler in the team.
I know.
In this sense,
obviously not a fan of not a fan. Max is not a fan, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Max is not a fan of a lot of people. Big up Max.
Max is not a fan of Diaz. Oh
Max, are you fan of Richarlison? Remember Richarlison, Max? That great player. But no, all seriousness, no, look, Diaz is our dribbler. He's the best dribbler in our team. He's probably the only one. Salah, yes, but Diaz has got more of that flair about him. Salah dribbles in a different way,
Yeah.
And what I would like to see, hopefully, if there's still time to the end of the season, I want Diaz and Cody to get double digits goals at least in the Prem. I think that's doable.
He's only one goal away from that.
Yeah, is he on 9? Is he?
Yeah, I think.
And Cody,
I'll double check for you.
Yeah,
I think
please.
he's on 9 goals.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Let me see. Yeah, he's on 9 goals. Cody's on 8 goals this year.
Okay, so okay. So it's
for
doable.
Premier League at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's doable. Yeah, I'll definitely like to see that. But yeah, man, I mean, look, he's had a good international break, Diaz, from what I've heard reports and watched a bit of the loss against Brazil. He was, could have done a bit more, I know 12, you were like, square to roll, give roll the goal.
Yeah.
But he could have, but look, we just, again, all we want is consistency from our players, and he was all right, but there's more to come from him and Cody and the team as a whole at the end of the season. I did also thought Gravenberch was a little bit more like his old self today.
Yeah, a little bit.
There was a little bit more. That was the Grave of old. I mean, I know Norm in the chat. Yeah, good shot. Yeah. So I think Norm was
quickly on Gakpo. 8 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League.
Okay.
3 goals and 1 assist in the Champions League. 5 goals and 1 assist in the League Cup.
He's League Cup is his tournament, by the way.
Okay, that's quite.
I mean, considering League Cup last year, his goals in the League Cup last year and his goals in the League Cup this year were some of the tops on the team.
Interesting.
In scoring, yeah, number wise.
Yeah. I think
So
it's hard to say.
16 goals and 6 assists.
Which is,
All clubs.
okay, bro. Yeah, which is decent. So you can, realistically, you
Very
could push that to 20.
Yeah, considering he's been in and out,
Injured,
I think that's very good.
Yeah, that is decent, yeah. Yeah, I think both him and Diaz. I think. Oh, I mean, what would you guys say in the chat? With Cody, Cody's been more consistent than Lucho. Do you reckon?
I consider them two very different left wingers in
Mm.
terms of what I expect from Diaz. Different, like I still see Cody as primarily a goal scorer, whereas I see Diaz as a not an out and out creator, but yeah, defensive winger, strong, tracks back, also does bits and pieces up top, but much more of a kind of a. I don't see Diaz as a goal getter, whereas I see Gakpo as a goal getter. I see Diaz as someone who gets involved in build up play and creates for other people. So I would rate. To me, I would like to see Diaz have like a shitload of assists. And I see Cody have like a shitload of goals. And then they make up the difference in between. But I'd see them both a little bit differently.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what Max has against Diaz, but that's interesting. You just said he's going off about
Max has high standards. Max
He
has
does. I know
high
he has
and
high
weird.
standards. I mean,
High and very weird and incredibly
he's
specific standards.
He's got very
incredibly
high.
specific
I'm
standards.
talking Spurs level high standards. I know.
Yeah, but not even high. Incredibly nuanced and weird and specific high standards.
Specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
goals
he said
don't matter.
he has scored
Assists
all
don't
his
matter.
goals. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's the Max quote. Goals don't matter. Assists don't matter.
Yeah. No, he said Diaz scored his goal, scored all his goals in 4 games, but that's not true. I mean, he's got 9 goals.
He scored them all against Tottenham, Max.
Yeah.
Scored them all against Tottenham.
Right. So if he scored all of his goals in 9, and if he scored 9 goals in 4 games, that would mean he would have 3 braces and a hat trick. That would be pretty good. I mean, like, if that's the case, I'd be like, that's pretty good. But it's not. He had a brace against United. He had a goal and assist against Brentford. He's had a bunch. He started off the year really on fire for us. Settled down. I'll admit, definitely settled down towards the middle of the year. But if you do look at his output over the entire year, he's been pretty decently consistent by getting either goals or assists. Throughout the entire year. Like you said, he just said he doesn't know when to pass the ball. He's the one who had the assist to Jota today.
He pass it tonight when he did become active in the play. Like
yeah.
Gonna play between him and Jota.
I find it funny. But yeah, he got the assist today. In this game, for our only goal. Obviously, he got the assist also in that game against Southampton as well in the 3-1 game. But people, I was going to ask,
will we ever see Chiesa again? I don't think we'll ever see him again, will we? On the pitch, Chiesa.
Oh, Lee, don't say that. Don't say that, Lee.
I hope he gives him some minutes.
Don't do that,
Lee. Not like Wiz Khalifa right there. No.
I'm going to ignore that comment, Lee. Tough, what are you going to say?
little Fast and Furious Wiz Khalifa right there. Yes, we will see him again. Yes, I thought we were going to see him possibly today. when I saw Endo getting an opportunity to come into the game, I was like, oh, okay. But I did not expect him to come in for Salah. And considering that he said in a press conference, oh, the only reason why it's difficult to see, or one of the reasons why, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why it's difficult to see Chiesa getting minutes on this team currently is because in front of him he's competing for minutes, and in front of him is Mohamed Salah. And then you take Mohamed Salah off, and you still don't give him the minutes. So, but it's cool. Endo was the right move. Endo should have been in for anyway earlier than that, I think. But it is what it is.
Whoa. Oh my. Sorry, 12. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just. I mean, no. No. I'll. We're not going to read that comment out though. That's a very X-rated comment. No.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's really.
Let's definitely keep it PG. Let's keep it PG.
No, that's very X-rated right there, though.
I thought we were talking about this one.
Oh yeah, I was going to get onto that as well. I was going to get onto that, bro. I mean, you guys can answer that because yeah.
If that's a man's tackle, then I don't think that Tarkowski would have come out at the end of the game and said that he apologized for the tackle and that it was that he did possibly he was fortunate to get away with the tackle. So I get it. I get people want to act like this is 1985, but it's just interesting how sometimes we want to act like it's 1985 1 minute and then next minute we act like it's 2025. You know, it's like, yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I want to hear you guys.
That's on your boy Howard. Right. That's on your boy Tim Howard. I mean, like I said at the start of the show, if one of the biggest nutcases of all time, and Everton player, and a man who literally went to jail for not breaking someone's jaw on a pitch, Duncan Ferguson says, that's a straight red card. That's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. Right. Yeah. Now, Max, if you don't rate people for being a man on a pitch, if Duncan was as hard as it fucking gets, man, and Duncan is out there saying he needs to get sent off for that. You got it. Yeah. Come on, man.
So I think that's like that would be like saying that would be like saying that Pickford's challenge wasn't. I would like to see if Max thinks that Pickford's challenge was even a foul then on VVD, because that's very similar to what you saw happen in this challenge. He went and was reckless, had both feet off the ground. You're not supposed to have both feet off the ground.
And careers have been ended in derbies on both teams.
Exactly. Both feet off the ground, studs going into the back of the player's legs. There's absolutely no defense of that kind of tackle. Do those tackles exist? Absolutely. Do I think they're dirty? Yes, I do. And I think that they should be officiated properly.
Max, that's not what we're saying. He may or may not have done that, and he did get sent off plenty of times, and he got sent to prison, as we said, for breaking someone's jaw on the pitch. Even if he did that, he's a guy out there going, look, like what Tim fucking whatever his name is, Howard was saying. Duncan Ferguson said, look, back in the day, you might have gotten away with that. Yeah, well, I can't remember. He played for Man United and Everton. I don't remember his second name.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so.
You know what I mean? Like, but Duncan Ferguson, he said, look, back in the day, you might have got away with that. It was still a red. You might have got away with it. He's like, but you can't do that. Yeah. He said, it's not like, he's not saying, in today's football. He's just saying, no, we all know what he's doing there. That's a freaking red. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
That was the one thing I wanted to say earlier on. Pops saying both feet are off the ground. He's out of control. What the point I was trying to make was he's actually fully in control. If you what, yeah, he's got both feet off the ground, but he's fully in control of what he's doing when he follows through. It wasn't like he
had
actually,
to fall through like
both
that.
feet are off the ground. Yeah, he had his hand on the ground. He was actually doing what he meant to do when he extended his leg at the end. He put that little
You know
leg.
what the words
Because
I
he was
used
fully
initially
controlled
was
body.
to 12 because I was watching the match with 12. He put it on so I could watch it. Like I said,
Oh,
it was
maybe
an
I did.
evil
Maybe I
tackle.
didn't.
Evil was the words he used, and it was evil, that tackle, wasn't it? It could have ended his career. See, Jim Beglin's got ended in a derby. Jeff McNulty for Everton, his career ended in a derby, but that could have been a career-ending injury if his foot was planted in the ground, and probably would have been.
See, that's the point I'm trying to make, Lee,
expensive
is
surgery, wouldn't he?
but that's the point I'm trying to make, Lee, is I guarantee you, right? Because his leg wasn't planted, right? Tarkowski says you're going to have some of this. If his leg had been planted, Tarkowski wouldn't have followed through the way he did, which to me shows he was in complete control. It's like, oh, you're out of control, dude. No, dude, he was in full control. He could actually choose to put that bit extra on the end of his leg.
Yeah. I think he did. You could see he gave a little extra flick, Brian, too.
Yeah, you can see right at the end. He pushes further in. You can see right at the end. He pushes further into it. That's what I'm saying.
Just to make sure that he does get a piece of him.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's not out of control in any way. Oh, he's
That's
2
how I
feet.
saw
I
it.
said, no. Yeah, you can be 2 foot off the ground with your hand, and you are actually in control of your body. And he extends his leg more than he needs to, just to add that little bit extra. But even more damningly to me, if I was prosecuting this, if he had his leg planted on the ground, he would have said, no, I'm going to miss that because I'll probably break the fucker's leg. You know what I mean? He's like, no, I can do this now, and I won't fuck him up, but it'll hurt him. So that to me even says you're even more in control. In every way, he was in control. It's one of the most obvious. This will be one of those things that in 6 months' time we'll find out, like the kick to the chest and the other guy. It'll be shown as an example of what should be a red card.
Yeah.
You know, but the idea that he didn't even go to the fucking TV in the corner is just, like I said, what was VAR for if not for that?
Not you, but I would ask Max more so. If Macca, fortunately, he wasn't injured, or at least as far as we know, he wasn't injured. But if he does break his leg, or if he does get a knee injury or something horrible like that, are you still saying, as Max out there, or not as Max, but Max, are you saying out there that's just a man's tackle, or however you referenced it? That's not a card. That's just a good tackle. It's kind of crazy because sometimes even it seems like it takes someone actually getting hurt for it to be a reckless tackle or a bad challenge.
I think it was a League Cup game with Everton when Jim Beglin got tackled by Gary Stevens, and Jim Beglin did come back and play again, but like it wasn't the Jim Beglin of before, and he was really good. Jim Beglin, when he first came in, he was brilliant, and it was really real shame what happened. Like, but it does happen sometimes. Like careers can be ended in one lunge, can't they?
They can be. Okay. Football was also played with like a medicine ball like 50 years ago, 50, 60 years ago. I mean, does it still need to be played like,
He was
football evolves. Football has evolved. It's not necessary. I'm not saying that it is I'm not saying that those that played the game in yesteryear are any worse or any better. I'm just saying it has evolved to the point where this is the game that we currently have. And if you want to still play by the settings of, let's see, that would make it 1895, right? Not even, well, I'm bad, man. 120 years. Yeah, 1895.
Nope.
then you can have at it. But that's what it is. Oh, that's hey, I wouldn't go that far. That's putting it a little bit too far, Max. With the Natasha showed you what women's football is about in the Legends game. So that's no short of being worthy of being called football, whether it's men or female. So, excuse me. Okay. So, we're about 5 minutes away from ending today's show. Yeah. It's very, I agree with you, Bernie. It was very reminiscent of when I saw that tackle, the tackle that I saw by Pickford on Darwin, when I saw that tackle on actually the way that he kind of scissor kicked at the end to kind of make sure he got contact, being Tarkowski on Maka, gave me thoughts about it. Just gave me just thoughts about BVD all over again. And it was a case where I'm just like hoping that Maka isn't injured off of someone trying to make trying to go over and above to make a point. That's all. So let's see. Anything you guys want to talk about before we bounce though? We got like 5 minutes left.
How much do you think the team will change for the Fulham game? The rest of you think there'll be many changes by Sunday, or do you think he'll just go pretty much the same side? I think if Bradley's back fit, he might put him back in, mightn't he? And if not, Kwanzaa, maybe. We'll see anyway, won't we? But I don't think he'll make any changes. Don't think he's going to bring Endo or Elliott in from the start. No. Don't think he's going to drop Diaz or Salah or Jota, actually. No, I don't think he'll drop any of those three for the Fulham game. Cody will have to be coming off the bench, won't he, again?
Right.
That's what it looks like anyway to me after what he did today.
He's going to play Kwanzaa and Endo in center half. Put in Simicast in left. Retry to Curtis Jones at the right. What else could we do? What else could we do here? Putting Elliott maybe in the midfield. Bringing Chiesa. Pairing McConnell, maybe even. No. We're going to see the exact same. I think the only change you might see for the weekend is you might see Cody, but I don't even think that's going to be the case. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't know how Cody's going to have a tough time getting back into the starting lineup. I think if Hatta starts to heat up a little bit, or if Hatta starts to find his shooting ways, I think Cody will be relegated back to maybe being a substitute. I don't know. Maybe you have different opinion on that one.
I would like to see him off from Jota towards the season's end. Was it changed my mind on him staying because of his fitness? I don't know. But I wouldn't. Sometimes he goes on little runs, doesn't he, Jota, like where he just blasts a load in. Hopefully this is the start of one until the end of the season. But I don't know if Slot will be wanting to keep him after his fitness record. It's interesting to wonder, isn't it? Like, will Slot want to keep him because of his fitness record? Because we're already going to be moving players on. It's just another player moving on, isn't it? All at the same time. Will he do that? But I have sort of my patience has snapped this season with Jota not being fit. He's brilliant when he's fit, but he's just like there's too many the injury periods are too long that way. Like he's out for too long when he's out.
Mm-hmm.
Max.
Well, sometimes.
Maxi. Sorry.
Go ahead, Donate. Sorry. Go ahead.
Right. Maxi. Look, Max, I'm gonna, as the boys, as you just a comment, the boys have all answered them. Did JK answer?
No,
JK answer about
What was a question by Max that we
Yeah, Max, I'm gonna put it to you like this, because you're saying we know it's a man's game, but again, fair's fair. That McAllister, if that was your son playing, and Tarkowski did that to him, would you be saying the same thing and saying it's a man's game? I'll leave it as that.
If that were your leg.
Yeah. He'll be like, yeah. He's like, just grab some dirt, spit on, grab some dirt and throw it on your injury. I'm sorry. Oh man, I don't know if I need a pause after that one or something, but yeah, that's not. Just rub some dirt on it. You'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still. We kid, Max. We only kid. We know you know that we got love for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't see us making any real substitutions other than maybe not maybe. I think Ali will be back in net when we play against Fulham. Again, I don't think that he would have been in training if he wasn't fit to be in, like, at least in the game. Maybe I thought that there was something like if you have a concussion that you're supposed to have like a certain number of games that you have to like stay. You have to like you're not allowed to play or something. I'll have to double
Yeah,
check.
they have concussion protocols, but I don't think that's what.
I mean, it was done in international, so I don't know if it constitutes in.
I think it's 10 days. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But he was back and he was in training.
Right.
So I think whatever it was that happened, so he wouldn't be training if he was under the concussion protocol. So that's why I didn't know what was going on there, because he was saying he's trained with us once. We'll assess him again. That was at the press conference. So yeah, I'm not actually sure.
Oh wow! I just got to. I do have an answer for you. If that's the case, then if this is the case, this is not Gucci good for us, but because apparently Arnie Slot explains why Allison misses Liverpool versus Everton. He said it. So this is what the FA Cup or FA's concussion guidelines are. And let me see if I can get the Arnie Slot saying that he said the club followed the protocol and he had to tick all the boxes, and yesterday he didn't tick the very last box, so that means he cannot start. The good thing is blah 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 about Kelleher.
They asked him what year it was, and he said 1925.
Yeah, he said it's 1925. Tarkowski's challenge is a good one. That's a man's challenge.
But there's a really famous one. I don't. What's that story? I'm going to say it's Harry Redknapp or something. I don't know it. I think it might have been Ron Atkinson or something like that. But it's talking about like back in the day, and one of his players got knocked out. Literally got knocked out on the pitch, and he woke back up or whatever, and like the assistant manager comes over to, let's just say, Rod Atkinson, and he says, "How is he?" He says, "He doesn't know who he is, coach. He doesn't even." Says, "Tell him he's Maradona and send him back out." Do you know? It's like, okay, fuck
Do
it,
you
you know.
remember that? Do you remember that defender for United, David Butt, who they bought, and like when his leg broke, like the bone stuck out really badly, and when Schmeichel saw it, like he sort of winced because he seen Schmeichel walk over, and his face just changed when he saw it. Like it was that David Butt, his name was. I think he bought him off.
Paper golf.
No, it happened while he was playing for Coventry, not for United. He was playing for Coventry at United.
I
when
was
he
going
broke
to
his leg.
Coventry.
Yeah, he was playing for Coventry
that's
at
right,
Old Trafford when he broke his leg. Yeah.
I tell you, yeah, David Butt. Apparently, that was an ugly. Well, you seen that it was like it didn't show you it like the camera, but it showed you Schmeichel's face. It was obviously unpleasant viewing.
But yeah, the one I think it was Harry Redknapp. It's like, tell him he's Maradona and send him back out. Like, okay, fuck the concussion.
Wasn't
He doesn't know.
wasn't the other one of the others funny stories about was it Nani? Was it Nani? It was a Red Devil that like got hurt or something, and he's like he was crying or something,
and got back up when Carragher put one on him.
No, like I'm trying to think of who told the story. It was a pretty wild story. Was it Keane that said it? Maybe it was Keane. I'll remember in a second. I'll have to maybe look it up. But they were just talking about. I thought maybe you guys had heard that story about like, what's his name? Oh man, the French player, the black French, not Pogba, for the Red Devils was telling it. Patrick,
Evra.
Patrick Evra was telling the story about like how like yeah, that's it. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Nani cried, and Rooney was like, like F off. No, he's not. And he's like, because he was like going over there, they're all hard. And he's like, oh, he's crying. He's like, no, he's not. He is. And they got all like, yeah. They played him. I'm like, the guy's hurt. But he was crying. He wasn't, I guess. It was a wild story. You guys never heard that story?
Really getting sent off for England against Portugal.
A couple people in the chat have heard it. Luke and Kevin have both heard that story. That was a wild story. Yeah. Jamie Carragher had tackled him too, by the way. Do you remember that now? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not the Rooney saying that stuff. No. Never heard that before.
Yeah. That's a funny story. Funny as in like the response, the reaction they gave. I might be I'm gonna close that window. I might be getting caught up. What was it saying? What were you saying?
No, it'd be very Rooney to just go, yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah, I can imagine Rooney basically saying, fuck him. Is he whinging about it? Yeah. But there's nobody crying. He's like, fuck off. Easy shit. Well, I just wanted to know, like, my question tonight was like, why was Jordan Pickford time wasting when Everton were 1-0 down? Is it that ingrained in his mind?
I think it must be.
It was like, Jordan, you're 1-0 down. He's like, yeah, don't worry, lads. I got this. Little fake throw, little pretend to drop. I was like, what are you doing, man? It's like you got some master plan to it. These guys are just. He is the worst, man. Like,
all right, I'll tell you the story. This is a real quick recap of the story. It says in a recounting on BBC Radio 5 Live, Patrice Evra shared a story about Jimmy Carragher's tackle on Nani. during a Liverpool versus Manchester United match where Nani was visibly upset, and Sir Alex Ferguson's reacted with a memorable comment about crying at Anfield. Here's how the story went down. The incident was ever recalled a tackle by Carragher on Nani, who resulted in Nani being on the floor and visibly upset. Ever mentioned that Scholes saw Nani crying and reacted with a "F off" comment. It was Scholes. I knew it was Scholes was the one that said it. Evra stated that at halftime when Nani was getting a massage, Ferguson came and said, "I really hope you really broke your leg because crying at Anfield, this is impossible." Ever used this story to highlight the mentality of the Manchester United team and Ferguson's expectations, especially during a match at Anfield. That was the story.
That's how you win shit, man. That kind of mentality is hardcore.
It's hardcore.
I don't care if you broke your leg. I don't care if you broke your leg. What are you doing crying in front of these Anfield bitches? That is a hardcore mentality, man.
Yeah.
That's how you win shit.
Yeah. That's definitely max settings right there. That is definitely max settings. Maxed all the way up.
Yeah, they can hurt you, but never let them see you cry.
Never let them see you cry. Never let them see you cry. Well. All right, people. We are at the 2-hour mark. We're gonna do another. We'll do a rating show tomorrow, but then we'll also have another episode lined up for you. That's maxed out. That is for sure. We're gonna have another episode that's gonna dive into some of the topics that we've talked over the break as well. But until then, is there anything you guys want to say? You want to say some last words before we leave the episode here? Lee, let's go. We'll go Lee, JK, Brian, and then we'll go to Nolante.
Just the usual. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for your contributions. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise, bro.
Go ahead, JK.
Yeah, likewise, bro. Bless up the chat and bless up Diego Jota finally finding his goal scoring boots. Let's go and beat Fulham.
Brian,
he scored a couple of against Fulham before, as I recall. He scored against a lot of teams, Jota, but let's hope he can repeat that.
Right there, bro.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
No, just thanks everybody sticking with us. It's getting late in the UK and this side of the world, so appreciate everybody hanging out and sticking with us, and see you soon for the next one, without a doubt.
And Nolante?
And I'll end it like this. Liverpool FC, top of the league. Liverpool FC, 1-0 win. Everton, aka the Toffees, put straight in the bin. Jota, the top shotter, the top slotter, the top plotter. You dig? Good night. God bless. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Good night. God bless.
Good night. Can you dig it? Is what Hata is saying right there, for a little bit of a heart emoji for everyone out there. Much love to each and every one of you. All the Reds out there, much love. We will be back with you tomorrow. Hope that you're well. Hope that you continue to be well, and that we'll see you tomorrow. Because as always, my friends and family, up the Reds, up the Reds. All right, I laughed at Kevin's comment. All right, good night, good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.